Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Round Room. Today, we will be talking about the D23 trailer and all that ensued at D23. Today with me, I have KrytenKoro from the Kingdom Hearts Wiki.
Hey!
And our first outside Wiki guest, Toominator from KH13.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on here.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Awesome.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about D23 and the plethora of interviews and whatnot that came across that. So, good? Did we like it?
That's an understatement. Honestly, there is so much in this trailer. Stuff that we've seen, stuff that we haven't seen, and of course that juicy release window that everybody has been waiting for. Sorry to bring up the elephant in the room so quick, but yeah, I mean that alone really makes it the best trailer we've seen so far.
Yes, a very good elephant that we'd love to talk about actually.
Absolutely.
A lot of fans are very happy with not only a release window, but a very close release window.
Oh yeah.
I know Kryten was kind of pushing for that 2020 release window.
I've been very cynical.
Well, I mean, if you have that attitude, then it's pleasantly surprising when it comes out way sooner.
Yeah.
I had been saying 2018 for a while now. It just, like, the trailers we've been seeing have just looked done. Like, and there's Japanese voice acting already. Like, it seems pretty done to me.
I was just a little worried myself because I knew that, like, in comparison with kind of the Dream Drop release schedule, this is let's see, for Kingdom Hearts 3, this is the third Disney world, I believe. The others being Tangled and, which one am I missing?
Big Hero 6?
Big Hero 6, thank you. And I knew Big Hero 6, we got one piece of artwork. Mm-hmm. So I was a little bit worried and kind of going maybe 2019, 2020-ish. Mm-hmm. I was pleasantly surprised though.
Well,
to hear that it would be 2018.
In one of the interviews that we're hopefully going to be talking about, he actually mentions that he, being Tetsuya Nomura, mentions that Big Hero 6 was actually the last world picked for Kingdom Hearts 3. So that's why it really hasn't been shown off yet, because it's the last one that they've been working on. Mm-hmm. So this is no surprise that we haven't seen it yet, but I'm really excited. That was actually my one wish for Kingdom Hearts 3, was to have Big Hero 6 in there.
Big Hero 6?
And I got that wish 2 years ago, so everything else is a bonus at this point.
Completely.
Like, everything is just extra now, because Big Hero 6 was my number one, I want this in Kingdom Hearts 3, and here it is, so...
Yeah, I could definitely see it doing very well in Kingdom Hearts, just how it's set up and how it's got that mix of Japanese culture and American culture in the film, and that's kind of very much what Kingdom Hearts is, that Japanese, that JRPG style with that American Disney just coming together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But when we were talking, or when Big Hero 6 was first introduced, we had no idea that'd be the last world. So that's kind of why I had that little bit of worry that it might be farther off. Because I'm like, if this is like Disney World number 2, and we only have art, we're a long way off. But it's good to hear that that's last, and they got stuff planned, and it looks like we're on a very good track for 2018. And he's in one of the interviews, Nomura actually mentioned that he was very confident in the
2018. Yep. I mean, the only setback they had, I mean, it's a huge one, but the only one it seems like that they had was switching game engines. Right. Which wasn't exactly their fault. Yeah. It wasn't planned for them to do that. But I mean, I think it's a positive thing. I think the game just looks better in Unreal. So I mean, I don't know. I think they've had a date picked out for a long time now, and it seems like they've sort of stuck with it. So I think they're on a great track. I don't think there's any reason for people to expect a delay as of right now. I would trust Nomura and his team to get it done.
Oh yeah, completely.
And the fact that it says 2018, not a specific day or month or anything, I mean, it could be delayed and we would have no idea. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it could be planned for March, but it would actually come out September, but we only hear September, you know? There's really no reason for us to expect a delay of any sort.
Oh, completely. By doing, like, the release year, this definitely keeps fans way more satisfied than having it being delayed by only a month, because then you would get complaining fans, and maybe Final Fantasy 15 all over again. And we don't want to go down that road.
No.
But, yeah, definitely having that release window is very positive, I think, for both the production standpoint and for the fans themselves. And I definitely look forward to 2018 that much more.
Oh, yeah.
Now with that, let's go into dissecting the trailer, the rest of the trailer, if you will.
Yeah.
So we kind of start off with the whole huge text in your face while in Olympus.
Jesus Christ.
And all your senses being overloaded with Destati playing in the background, and you're like, what's going on? There's so much I don't understand. And him bouncing around and whatnot. From what I've seen, that little shred of Olympus that we got in this latest trailer, I'm liking it. It's, of course I could say that about a lot of what I've seen. But right. We got to see a little bit more of the the gameplay mechanic that's not flow motion. Free flow?
Athletic flow.
Athletic flow, thank you. Mm-hmm. We got to see a lot more athletic flow when he's been bouncing around from like the little bricks or whatever, from like brick to brick, kind of reminiscent of the Xemnas fight with the buildings, how he's kind of jumping from building to building. And I'm kind of curious how that's going to work.
It looked like he used like a shot lock thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if R1 does like the attack shot lock and R2 does like the athletic flow shot lock. I'm not sure if they'll be different. But I have a feel that's how I would map it if I was designing a game, and keep lock on as L1, and then if you want to change your lock on, change it to L2. So if you want to change your target,
right.
That's how I would map it, and then R1 would be shot lock, R2 would be athletic lock.
Yeah,
that's how I would map, because I don't think R2 is really used for much in Kingdom Hearts. I'm drawing a blank, but I don't think it's ever used.
I think it's just used for switching targets.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you just mapped it to L2 instead of R2, then I think we're okay.
Yeah. Did they ever have I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be thinking, but I thought they got rid of the target switch after the first game. Did they not? I don't remember having that in the second game.
They still had it as recently as .2, so...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still there. I think instead of making it R1, you make it L1.
Okay.
Change it, because I think in Birth by Sleep, that's how they did it, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember correctly, though.
Okay. I never really used that function much.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember exactly, but...
Exactly.
It would be good to see that, because I know a lot of people use that function. And whatnot, but that'd definitely be a good way to map it, is by having a completely different button for athletic flow than for the regular shot lock and whatnot.
Yeah, because I could see them totally messing each other up. You're trying to do one and then you do the other one. Like I could see that totally messing up a fight really quickly.
See,
completely.
I didn't even notice that there was a different type of shot lock that was based on just the athletic flow. Wait, what was that one like?
It might not be different. It might have the same look to it, but I'm hoping it's mapped to a different button.
I was gonna say it looked a lot similar to the 0.2 one, where it was just the little circle with the like gauge around it,
right?
Versus the Birth by Sleep one, where it changed like the whole screen or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if like it'll go to just once you click X or circle or whatever. And you go into that, I don't know if it'll change into, like it'll just be an animation from that standpoint, or you have to, like, aim the stick that way, or how that's going to go. It'll be interesting. As far as the world itself, it looks like we're staying away from the Colosseum, which I'm very okay with. We've seen enough of that. We know it by heart. We know where all the non-existent NPCs are sitting. We know where people are fighting. But it looks like they're doing more of Mount Olympus. And we actually see Sora go up to, like, the gate where humans can't enter and only gods and demigods can, or whatnot. Yep. So it makes me wonder, like, is Sora going to be able to go in there?
There's a save point right in front of it, I would imagine so.
Yeah, or at least a boss fight right in front of it. Or something, but yeah. And then the next shot is Twilight Town, where we see Sora fighting Neo Shadows and Dusks at the same time.
Woo!
Holy crap. We've never had that before. That's cool.
Like, closest we've ever technically had is, like, story bosses that were Dream Eaters or Heartless being next to each other, but nothing like just enemies.
Right.
Yeah. This is kind of the first time we've had it in its, like, purest form of fighting different species. Even with, like, Unversed and Dream Eaters, we didn't have too much. So this is kind of cool to see that they're able to blend the physics of the nobodies that are a little more agile to the more aggressive Heartless, and kind of blend those styles together.
And story-wise, it makes you wonder if Maleficent and the organization start working together. It sort of makes you wonder what's going on there, like why they would both simultaneously attack Sora at the same time. Because as far as we know, Maleficent is still, like, controlling the Heartless, correct? Like,
completely, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting how that's all playing out.
I think, I was gonna say the latest I think we've seen in her was Coded, and she didn't really control the Heartless, if I'm remembering, because she didn't make an appearance in Dream Drop.
No,
she was in Dream Drop, where she was just basically harassing Mickey, I think, while he was back at the castle. And then she was harassing Minnie, and then Mickey showed up and made her go away, and she was. Let me look it up. We have an encyclopedia just for this stuff. I need to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass.
We do?
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, well, you're looking that up. But yeah, as far as we know, until proven in poorly in like 5 seconds, Maleficent's still controlling the Heartless. I think I did read another interview in this big plethora of interviews we have. Praise Nomura for doing that. Goodness gracious, I love it.
Yes.
This is a great break from that huge desert we've been getting.
Oh, I know.
But I think I've read that Maleficent is actually going to kind of stay out of Sora's way, and she has her own kind of goals, and she has like no reason to get in Sora's way. So, I mean, other people control Heartless. And
I literally found a quote from Nomura about Maleficent. So what I suggested was working with Organization 13. Nomura says, and I quote, Maleficent and Pete have no sort of cooperation with Organization 13, nor are they conflicting or enemies against those people. Sora's battling the 13 darknesses, but Maleficent and Pete are kind of separate from that, so she doesn't necessarily actively poke at Sora or try to bother him. So, there you have it.
So there it is. Proven wrong in like 5 seconds flat.
By myself.
Okay. Thank you, KH13.
I looked up the coverage, and she shows up at the castle to harass Minnie and try and get the datascape, and then Mickey and Lee show up to stop her.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Lee showing up. Everybody remembers Lee showing up.
And then she shows up in Unchained again, indicating that she managed to get into the dreaming version of what is that called?
Realm of Darkness?
No, the Sleeping Beauty's world.
Oh, Enchanted Dominion.
Yes.
But okay, so we were both right and wrong-ish. So she could still control the Heartless as far as we know, but she's doing her own thing. So that'll be kind of a cool subplot line that we'll get to see what happens with her, because she was kind of dropped out of Kingdom Hearts 2. I mean, she was there in Kingdom Hearts 2, but it was weird.
Yeah. I feel like it'll be somewhat similar in this one. But I don't think people really care about Maleficent at this point. I think the next thing we see is Sora transforming the double arrow guns into the magic launcher.
Yeah.
In the trailer, we see the transformation working as the guard form worked in the previous trailer, in the orchestra trailer. So we see that it goes from double arrow guns to the magic launcher. The first time we saw this transformation, it was just the double arrow guns for like 2 shots, and then magically he had this giant cannon shot. So it was really interesting for me to see that he was actually hitting Heartless with the launcher before he used it. I didn't know how they were going to do that, but it looks like everything's happening in phases in Kingdom Hearts 3. You have the double arrow gun phase, you use that, you mess with that for a little bit, it sort of looks like wisdom form floating around while you're shooting missiles, and then you go into the magic launcher phase, where you sort of bash people with this giant bazooka, and then use the final cannon shot attack that we've seen before.
Yeah. It looks like they've kind of fused the systems of like drive forms and limits from KH2, and then command styles from Birth by Sleep, and the link styles from Dream Drop, and situation commands from Point 2, all into like one kind of system, and then slap that on top of the Keyblades.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep hearing all these terms being thrown around about the different types of gameplay. There's a traction flow, there's athletic flow, on top of limits that are kind of drive forms, on top of Keyblade transformation. There's like a lot of mechanics going to this, and this makes me a little bit nervous.
And Nomura has sort of defended that, saying that it's all optional. Like, you don't have to use it. There are still summons that we haven't seen yet that might still exist. There's shot locks. There's everything. And none of it is mandatory. You could play how you want. You could bash people all day with your Keyblade if that's what you want to do. I mean, there's nothing forcing you to use all these flashy moves, but he thinks it'll be a lot more fun with it. I agree. And,
completely.
I mean, the thing that I'm worried about, actually, is whether or not we have to watch these cinematic transformations every single time we use them. Because if it's anything like 0.2, we'll be using them pretty much constantly. So, I mean, I'm worried that I'm going to sit there and get bored of watching these transformations happen over and over and over again. It'll make me not want to use them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna say maybe they'll have an option like they did in Kingdom Hearts 2, where you didn't have to watch the whole summon sequence, or you had like a half summon sequence or something.
Yeah, that'd be totally fine.
That off.
Yes,
that's
what I'm hoping.
Very okay with that.
Yep, that's what I'm hoping.
Especially for like speedrunners, bless them.
Yeah.
how like it'd be easier to use this, and this is actually a lot faster, but because of the whole cinematic thing, what were you saying, Kryten?
Sorry, some sort of background thing just suddenly popped up and started screaming on my computer, and I was trying to figure out how to close it.
No props. It happens.
No, but what I was wanting to say was there is one system that Nomura's mentioned in the interviews, the summon system, and he said we're going to have Disney characters come back in that, but we've not really seen that at all yet. And so I'm starting to almost wonder, is that what attraction flow is? Like, is it not Disney characters, but Disney rides, maybe?
That could be a thing.
I don't think so, because he says that attraction flow is sort of specific to the world that you're in, like the type of environment that you're in.
Oh, okay.
So I think that summons will be one of the menu options, because you see in all the trailers that, like in the other trailers that we've seen, the command menu has multiple pages you can flip through.
Yeah.
Like Kingdom Hearts 2 had the one with the summon and the one with the drive on it. So I think in Kingdom Hearts 3 you'll have multiple pages of menus as well. And I don't think we've seen anything but the basic menu with attack, magic, items, and something else. I forget. Link. So I think that there will be another page with summons, something else. I don't know.
So
whatever else he has up
flow and what other mechanics they decide to throw in there.
Yeah, seriously.
On top of the mountain there.
So the attraction flow is more like a reality shift then.
Somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I would think it would be more like that. So kind of going in a little bit more into the trailer, then we see Sora fighting this big monster Titan thing Colossus. Not the Rock Titan, the smaller version. It's like a large body, but bigger and rockier.
Yeah, that big knight thing?
Yeah. That's got like various like chains around it and whatnot. And something that we noticed, I guess we kind of noticed it a bit in the orchestra trailer, and possibly some of the earlier trailers, but something that was really pointed out, and it'll be a little more apparent once we get later into the trailer, is that we can have Donald and Goofy in your party, as well as Hercules and other Disney characters. Which, so we don't have to switch people out, and that is fantastic. I like that we have the technology to have more than 3 party members in a party.
Yeah. That is a welcome change in my book.
Very much so.
What?
It'd be kind of neat if we could turn some of them off, but just because there could be some that would mess you up a little bit. I don't know. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if they'll even have disadvantages, or if it's just going to be they're just going to be fighting in the background, and all your real abilities and whatnot come from like Donald and Goofy or whatever. It's a thing to think about, I guess. But a lot of action with the big giant and whatnot. And then you get the little quote with, "Don't assume your dreams are just fantasy. If you can imagine a world, believe it and dive in."
Yeah. One thing I am kind of frustrated about, though, is, like, the Toy Story costumes are cool and all, but the way the trailer explained them, it sounds like we're still going to have all that charade about not meddling with the worlds. And I never really understand that. I mean, like, Donald and Goofy, clearly from another world. I mean, they even have Jiminy Cricket going with them, and he's from Pinocchio world. Why is it okay for him and the summons to be going world to world, but you can't, like, have Aladdin help you out? Like, I've never really understood that. And I'm
well, the world order is them, like, they're from that world, just a different part of it. Like, so Sora, Donald, and Goofy are from Toy Story, quote unquote, but they're not from Andy's room, you know?
Well, no.
So I don't know what you're asking.
Like in Aladdin, you have a giant talking duck and a giant talking dog show up. That's clearly not from a different part of the desert. And then you have Jiminy Cricket. They're allowed to take him world to world, but for some reason, Aladdin, when he specifically asks to help, no, you got to stay right here. That would be unthinkable. And it's always felt kind of like a poor excuse not to have the world party members, like, really have that system be complex enough to have it go world to world. And it's just, I'm hoping against hope that Kingdom Hearts 3 will get rid of that charade.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's the only explanation I have for you is Disney.
Because Disney.
Everybody is where they belong. I mean, Donald and Goofy are sort of like icons. They're not, like, from a specific thing. Jiminy Cricket is the only one I'll give you, but I mean, who cares? It's Jiminy Cricket, like, and he doesn't even pop out.
He barely
anyway.
shows up anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything anyway. It's just an excuse for somebody to be keeping track in a journal. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
See, my idea. Okay, Paul, you've seen Once Upon a Time, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's why we do not want that. We do not want Aladdin to have an affair with Alice, whose cousin is actually Pinocchio. Like, I realize that Sora, Donald, and Goofy going from world to world already messes things up, but that way, keeping Aladdin in Agrabah and keeping Alice in Wonderland prevents it from getting worse and prevents it from becoming Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that's true.
So it does keep the world order slightly. Although I don't understand the costume changes other than, oh, cool, Sora's a toy now. Oh, cool, Sora's shirtless now. Oh, cool. You know, that kind of thing.
If they would... I would be so much happier with the whole thing if they would at least, like, dress up in every world. Like, if...
Yeah.
You put Donald and Goofy in, like, turbans and kind of a mask so you can't really tell they have a giant honking bill and a snout. I could see that. Like, give them disguises. That makes sense. I'm one of those people who makes all the magic and stuff in a story disappear by questioning it too much.
No, I got you. I get you where you're coming from. That makes complete sense. But kind of going back to the trailer a little bit, we see Toy Story, and to me, very good choice. I think that is a really good choice for a Kingdom Hearts 3 world. Do you guys disagree at all, or?
It wasn't what I was expecting, because this opens up a whole new realm of Pixar in Kingdom Hearts 3. It sounds like they had an awesome experience working with Square Enix, because I don't know if you heard, but during the presentation, the Pixar exec that was there talking with them said that they were actually the ones responsible for the character design and modeling them for Square in Toy Story's world. And I think that is mind-blowing to me because of what that means for other worlds. Because Toy Story is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not my favorite Pixar movie. So I'm just excited to see if there are others in Kingdom Hearts 3, or if they will be, once Kingdom Hearts 3 is gone, we'll actually explore more Pixar worlds. Because it's not necessarily Toy Story that gets me excited, it's the fact that Pixar is involved that gets me excited.
Like, if we can get Brave in there, that would be perfect.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's an absolutely perfect story for the setting. I'm kind of mixed feelings about Toy Story. Like, on the one hand, like, the graphics are just gorgeous. Like, it looks almost better than the first movie, much less a video game. Mm-hmm. But, like, when they jump outside, there's cars there. It's a modern American 1980s street. I don't know. Like, I know we've seen technology in Kingdom Hearts before. Like, obviously we have the advanced Magitech in Radiant Garden, and we have trolleys in Twilight Town and trains there as well. But there's just it almost feels too real in that world for me, and it's just kind of like I kind of expected Sora to go like, "What the hell are those things?"
He might. We don't know. I mean, we don't see the whole conversation. I feel like some of it will be talked about. I didn't expect to get every single piece of what's going through Sora's mind in this trailer. But I mean, yeah, it is new. It didn't feel uncomfortable to me.
Oh no, not at all.
Seeing like actual grass, like.
Oh, that looked amazing.
Yeah, like it looks incredible. I'm excited, really. I mean, I'm excited to see Sora in the real world. I mean, haven't we all wished Sora was real?
Yes.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think it's great. I think it'll be fun to hitch on the back of a car and make our way to Galaxy Toys.
Yes.
Or get RC to drive us there or something, or fall with style. To there. I'm excited for the references, because now we're getting into movies that are very recent and
very meta.
Yeah, and very meta, and just people will recognize quote. Like, I don't know if you could quote Aladdin to me and I would understand that it's from Aladdin, unless it was like a whole new world. I don't know.
Right.
But in Toy Story, there's a lot of quotable lines.
Oh, completely.
And I'm excited for like some fourth wall breaks in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned on my Twitter, I'm really excited to hear Mr. Potato Head call Donald a hockey puck or something.
Yes.
You've seen all the drawings and the memes and stuff of.
Oh yeah.
Of Woody saying that Sora is a toy.
Yeah.
You are a toy.
A toy.
You're a child's plaything.
Like, as long as they don't try to put cars or planes in there, that would be too far for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Yeah. But I think Toy Story was a very safe choice, like, if they were to go with Pixar, because things like cars and planes, like, I know a lot of people don't want that. And I think this is just, like, one that's been engraved in people's hearts, like, oh yeah, nostalgia. And, like, that good feeling of Toy Story. That's nice.
Yep.
Like that good warm feeling. So I think that was a very good choice in that regard, as that it was a very safe and well loved. At least, yes, we don't hate this world choice.
Right. Exactly. I think that's exactly the right thing to say. It was a safe choice, because I don't think I've ever met anybody who says they hated Toy Story. I don't think I've met a single person that did not enjoy Toy Story.
The closest thing I've heard is just people comparing the Toy Stories to the other Toy Stories.
Exactly, right. Like, which one is better, right? Yeah. But I don't think I've ever heard someone say that it was a bad movie. So it was very safe for them to choose it. I think the only other option that they could have shown if they had it was Frozen. And I think this is, like you said, safer than Frozen. Some people are on the fence of it. There are people that did not like it. I know that for a fact. People would absolutely hate that if Frozen was in it. But I think Toy Story is something that everybody's good with.
Mm-hmm. Something I just noticed in the trailer as I'm going along with it. Do you know that ball, the like Pixar ball where it's like yellow? It's got the stripe around in the red star.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is in here.
Yes.
So happy day. But so we might see different like Pixar cameos. I'm kind of curious because I know like a lot of different cameos from like certain Pixar films went into other ones. Like you have the like a stuffed animal Finding Nemo and Monsters Inc. and you have all this other stuff. Like I said, Pixar is a very meta thing. So I'm kind of curious, and I feel like that's a lot of the Pixar magic is how meta it is.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious how that will play out in Kingdom Hearts, or if they'll just keep it to Toy Story and kind of play it safe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Going a little farther in the trailer, we see Sora fighting little toy soldier Heart. Well, not quite toy soldier, but little toy Heartless with little jetpacks and whatnot. And the transition from cutscene mode, quote unquote, to gameplay mode, very smooth. We didn't have to like fade and then have that like look at Sora, look at the enemy, look at Sora, look at the enemy, flash, now you're in gameplay mode. Like, it was a very clean cut transition. So, very good on that part. Something I liked.
I'm just glad that we got to see an actual cutscene from the world, because it shows us that something that a lot of people were worried about is, alright, this is Kingdom Hearts 3. It's actually the 12th title in the series. How many times can we go to a world and play through the movie and just be okay with it, you know? Yeah. That is one of the big things. But with Toy Story, with Big Hero 6, they're continuing the movie world. You know, this is part of Toy Story canon, apparently.
Which is weird to me.
That's exciting. That is so cool to me.
Completely.
I think
that's a huge improvement over, like, that's what they were doing in Kingdom Hearts 1, and I've missed that for the longest time.
I mean, it's just so cool to see that we're not just playing through what the movie did, right? We're looking for Andy, because Andy went missing somewhere, and he took toys with him, and he's been gone for a long time. We have to go find him. And they throw in the organization saying, oh, well, when these Heartless guys came, who we think stole Andy, then we saw this guy in a black coat. We think he has something to do with it. So it's just really cool that that Kingdom Hearts is finally branching away from, oh, let's play through the plot of the movie, and throw Sora and Donald in there. I think it's so cool because I don't think it's just going to be Toy Story and Big Hero 6 that do that. I would imagine Tangled would have something similar, because you want, like, if we see Tangled and Rapunzel has her short hair, I'm gonna freak out because that's what that means. That it's continuing the story rather than playing through the movie. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm really excited for how this world is being treated. And I'm glad. Much. And I was really concerned because if they're going into this huge giant world, right? Then I was concerned that we were just going to be stuck in Andy's house, which I didn't want at all. So it's nice to see that we're branching out and going to Galaxy Toys, and having huge sequences there, because that's apparently where most of it takes place.
Yeah, I remember Nomura saying that there are like different levels of Galaxy Toys, like floors, and each one has its own gimmicks. Like the one we saw, it had mechs, so cue all the Gundam and Evangelion memes in that floor. Get in the Sora, get in the robot. But oh goodness, all the memes that are going to come out. It's fantastic. It is good to see that they're doing that, and I think Toy Story, it was mentioned that it takes place between the second and third movie.
Yep.
So that we have that, which I think is actually the best place to have it. because there was a big gap in between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, and a lot more people are familiar and have that sense of home and that warm nostalgia feeliness with like the first two movies versus the third one.
Yeah.
And if they were to have it like after the third movie, like I know they're making a Toy Story 4, but people would be like, this isn't the direction I want to going, and people would feel a little uneasy.
Right.
So I think having it between 2 and 3 is a perfect place to have it. And if for some reason Toy Story 4 decides to reference Kingdom Hearts in the movie, I will scream. Like, that will just it'll make my day.
If they mention a spiky-haired boy, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, even if they just say something about some key thing, like, I'll be so happy. Because I've been looking for Kingdom Hearts references in Disney movies since freaking, like, for the longest time. Yeah. And, like, somebody's got to reference them.
I mean, they do have, like, figure arts and the SH figure arts, so, I mean, there could always be, like, just a Sora toy, totally legitimate toy.
Oh, completely.
That'd be awesome.
I'm kind of wondering, though, if it's supposed to not just be, like, a reimagining of Toy Story, but straight on canon between those movies, like, how is Andy remembering that? Because he was, like, what, at high school age during this? So is it like he thought his friends had just shared some bad shrooms with him?
Well, he never sees the toys that are alive.
But if he's getting kidnapped by the organization...
Oh, he's not. He's not. The toys just think he is because they don't think rationally because they're toys.
Yeah. My thing, have either of you seen the Winnie the Pooh movie, The Search for Christopher Robin?
No.
Okay.
It's probably something exactly like that, though.
I don't think I have.
It's essentially that. All the Winnie the Pooh characters think that Christopher Robin goes missing because he's been away a lot and whatnot. It turns out he just went to school. Right. Like, he got to that school age or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and, like...
Exactly what this is all about. Like,
so I just thought of that. It was like, it's kind of going that route, and I'm very okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like...
But, like, one thing... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and, like, him going to middle school, he's gonna have a lot more time away from the toys, and him just growing up in general and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One other thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and maybe this is another little nitpicky thing, but in the trailer it looked like young Xehanort was human-sized, and while Sora and them are all toy-sized, so... Maybe if he's there specifically to interact with humans, maybe that's why the Keyblade made him human-sized when he entered the world, and Sora was automatically toy-sized because he's there to interact with the people with light in their hearts.
I think it's just because Xehanort doesn't give a crap about World Order. I think he's literally just there because that's what he wants, and
he is kind of a destroyer thing. You know?
Yeah. He also. My question is, no, never mind. Scratch that.
Okay. So going further in the trailer, we see Sora go on the rooftop and go into suburbia, which kind of gives it that little real-world feel, which is odd and wonderful at the same time. And it makes me curious how they're going to do, like, borders? Like...
You can't go this way.
How that's going to go?
Right, yeah. That's interesting.
They might have it where, like... you go up to the road and then the prompt comes up, like, go to Galaxy Toys or something, and then they have, like, bushes along the sides and you can't go behind the house or something. I don't know. But it's, like, it looks very open, but I think it still has that idea of it looks more open than it actually is.
Right.
At least for the suburban setting outside of Andy's house.
So one thing I'm noticing in this trailer, finally, it looks like Sora is actually somewhat doing damage to the enemies.
Yes.
In previous trailers, the health bars just would not move at all. But in this one, we finally see him kill things, and we see the HP drop as he hits them. So that's new, too. And this is the part where we see that we can have actually up to 5 people in our party. So we don't just get Buzz, we don't just get Woody, we get both of them, which is incredible. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, so having multiple party members in there, not just Woody and not just Buzz, is having 5 people in there is amazing. And it would be kind of cool that if you could switch Woody and Buzz out for maybe like having Ham in there, or having what's the T-Rex's name?
Rex.
Rex. It's just Rex. That's right.
Yep.
Having Rex in there and having like different, like people of the world be your party members and have that like switchable thing. That would be so cool.
Like, now that you mention that, like with Big Hero 6 especially, like you would have the choice between so many people. Yeah, like, you would have the choice between so many of them, and oh my god, you just blew my mind right there. Like,
yeah, wow.
In some worlds, it makes sense. Like in Tangled, you'll have Rapunzel and you have Flynn. Like that's literally all you'll have. But in other worlds, like Big Hero 6 and Toy Story, there's a couple of good choices. Like you could have Baymax / Hero and Fred if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or Wasabi. I think, you could have whoever. Oh, that would be so cool.
Oh, I hope.
All right, I have to make a tweet about that.
Please do.
I'll credit you.
Or at least like a.
So it would be kind of cool to have different party members switch out in that way.
Right.
I guess in Tangled you could have a couple people from the tavern. Because they kind of had their own personalities, and you could do a little like basic RPG styles where you have the tank and you have like the guy that shoots the arrows, the drunk old guy that shoots arrows.
Yes, perfect.
Oh gosh,
absolutely.
But that would definitely be a cool mechanic if they decide to implement it. If not, I'm not going to be too heartbroken.
Right.
But it would definitely be a really cool thing to have.
Oh yeah.
Another thing I just know. I've seen this trailer like several times, and I'm still just noticing things. That's the amazing magic of Kingdom Hearts. Quite. As Sora's kind of coming off to the roof, and he's doing that big dive thing that, the same thing that we saw in the orchestra trailer, where he goes into quote unquote the dive animation.
Yep.
I just noticed that the enemies, at least some of them, just start swarming to where Sora's landing. So they've become smarter a little bit. I don't know if that was just coincidence, or if that was just for the cinematics of they should move here so that Sora can do this move and whatnot for the trailer. But it's kind of cool seeing that enemies are becoming smarter. And I remember in an older interview where Nomura was saying, I think it was Nomura that mentioned it, or somebody at Square Enix, was saying that enemies are going to start working together, and so they're not their own independent messes. They'll be using stuff together, and I'm starting to see that a little bit with these little toy soldiers coming to where Sora's about to land.
Right.
I hope that's not abused and you're in a sticky spot where like they just put spikes up where Sora's gonna land and it's a one-hit KO type thing.
Right. That would be brutal.
Yeah, especially if you're doing like a level 1 playthrough if they decide to do that, which I hope they do. Good old level 1 crit. But it'll be kind of cool to see how the Heartless will interact with each other, with the environment, and with Sora, even if he's not necessarily in the quote-unquote aggro range. Or like the typical aggro range of them. Even though Heartless... I guess if you're in a aggro range of Heartless, they were summoned. Like, you never really had that too much, but anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Now, here's another sort of thing I like to analyze. I don't know if it's trailer specific. You never really know, but on the surface, these are really weak Heartless that we're seeing in the front lawn.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if this is like one of the first worlds we visit.
That would be my guess.
Because, I mean, yeah, we have the giant mechs, but we are also given giant mechs to fight them with. I mean, I think obviously Olympus is first, but I'm thinking that they're sort of showing worlds in the order that we might actually visit them. Because I think Nomura said that we're pretty much going to know everything about Kingdom Hearts 3 before it shows up.
Oh, completely.
So I think he might be onto something there, like revealing gameplay of worlds as we might visit them.
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, with the Dream Drop world reveals, I'm pretty sure they did that in reveal order, or in world order. I think they revealed. Traverse Town was obviously the stuff they used in all the trailers and whatnot, but I think they showed off Hunchback of Notre Dame first, and then they kind of went into here's the grid and here's the Prankster's Paradise, and then they went into like Fantasia. I think they went in world order.
Yeah.
And the only reason they showed off Big Hero 6 was because of that. There was some pressure.
Super hype.
So there was some upper management things that are like, we need to do this, and it was way too early. So
also Roy Connolly.
Speaking of Roy Connolly, I was going to bring this up when we were mentioning Pixar and whatnot, but it was cool seeing that we see big names like Roy Connolly, and I don't think John Lasseter was actually brought up because I don't think he's technically Pixar anymore. Question mark. But it's kind of cool. It is kind of cool seeing that how they're working with the different companies.
Yeah.
And we're seeing big names like Pixar and like Roy Connolly that are working on this, and you have the actual staff.
Yep.
You don't just have random Pixar team number A.
Yeah.
And letter A. You know. We have the people that worked on that movie.
Yep.
Are working on this.
It's so incredible because
they're gonna get it right.
Yeah, Disney is really going like headstrong with Kingdom Hearts 3. They are really looking to make a statement with this game. Look, at D23, they had Marvel and Star Wars games to talk about. They were the openers to Kingdom Hearts 3. They were the openers. Like, this is how big Kingdom Hearts is. And, I mean, you have Star Wars and Marvel flooding box offices and breaking records every single time a movie is out.
Yeah.
With either of those properties. They played second fiddle to Kingdom Hearts 3 at D23.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. And if you could... if you heard... I mean, I was watching it on the Square Enix stream, so the chat really doesn't apply there, because everybody watching the Square Enix stream was there for Kingdom Hearts, duh.
Yep.
But hearing the cheers between Battlefront
and
Kingdom Hearts, holy crap, the difference. People are like, Battlefront, okay, nice clap, you know, oh, Spider-Man, okay, Kingdom Hearts went wild.
It did. That was really funny.
Gosh, this is becoming a big thing.
Yeah. People there are people who have played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 who will play Kingdom Hearts 3 that have not played the side games. So it really it has a huge audience this time around.
Oh yeah.
Like there will be plenty of people who pick this up just because of the hype generated from it.
Completely.
And just because they want to play in Toy Story worlds, you know. This game has the potential to really knock a lot of people's socks off.
And as much as people bash on how many remakes and final mixes and whatnot there has been, I feel like we owe a lot of the amount of fan base, and we owe a lot of the at least the size of the fan base now versus back when the games were first released. I feel like we owe that slightly to the remasters.
Yeah.
Because there are people that played the first two games, completely dropped out, didn't hear about anything, whatever, and then they heard about the PS3 and the PS4 remakes, and they're like, I remember this as a kid.
Right.
I have a PS3 now. I'm gonna pick this up again. I'm gonna play it again. And then they got to experience, if they wanted to, it's their choice. They got the chance to experience Rechain and Birth by Sleep and Dazed and Coded, I guess. But they got the chance to experience that, and if they're a little bit confused, they can go back to that. And of course, 2.8 brought the Dream Drop and a little bit of Unchained Kai, so they have it at their disposal now, where they don't have to go out and buy an entire console,
right?
Just to play one side game.
Right.
And so I feel like we do owe that a little bit to the remasters in that sense. So I'm actually very thankful that we have both the PS3 and the PS4 stuff, because I've been wanting the final mixes in America for quite some time.
Oh yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
I wanted that data.org. Transitioning back to Kingdom Hearts 3, because this is a big series and whatnot. That Hyper Hammer, holy crap! That and the like particle effects and seeing the ground shatter. I mean, you see it disappear later and whatever, but that is so cool to me.
Yep.
Oh,
I love that they have like the Keyblade of the world looks incredible with the cactus and the rocket at the bottom. I think I mean this looks so cool, and like you were saying, the Hyper Hammer. One thing that I noticed is that it actually changes your magic. You see Sora use fire while he's using Drill Punch, or Hyper Hammer, and it's different than the fire that we've seen previously. So I think there's a lot of fundamental changes with the Keyblade as well. Also, this is the hammer that we saw in that in that screenshot. So it really is tied to the Keyblade. Because so far we've seen guard form in Olympus, and now we've seen Hyper Hammer in Toy Story World, and we've only seen the double arrow guns in Twilight Town and Tangled, but we didn't really know what was going on with them then. So it is like these are just tied to the Keyblade, so it's really cool to get that confirmation as well. Because we saw the screenshot that we saw, he was using Hyper Hammer in Olympus.
Yeah, I like how they brought back that mechanic from Kingdom Hearts 2, where like how they had different drive forms affected your magic. Like you had Final Form, you went like in a circle when you used fire, versus where in Wisdom Form you kind of just went forward, and actually that's backwards, I think. But that magic was affected and was cast differently depending on the drive form, and that's a really cool mechanic to see again, albeit in a different sense. But it's cool that they carried that over, and hopefully they'll have situations where it's like, oh, it'll be easier when it spins in a circle, or when it's like the whole hammer's in flames.
Right.
So that is a very cool thing that I'm very glad exists. Another thing I noticed was that with the Heartless we've seen, at least like the rehashes, like the large bodies and the Neo shadows and I guess the Dusks as well, although the Dusks looked shinier and creepier for some reason.
Somehow.
But I noticed the little chicken-feeded floaty ones, like the Blue Rhapsody and those ones are like completely redesigned.
Yeah.
Like they've got like swirls and whatnot, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I also think we saw some that were actually from Unchained. I think I may have been mistaking it, but I thought we saw an Emerald Serenade, like one of those upgraded green Requiems that we've seen in the Cinderella missions, and I thought I spotted that in Olympus as well.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I do remember seeing it. Although it is, there was something in Days as well, if I'm remembering. I think there was some big green one that you had to hit and it went around in a maze, and it was not fun.
God, I hated from Days,
that so that's not. Everybody hated Days, so that's a thing.
That is, that's my least favorite Heartless in the entire series. Is that thing? It's such bullshit.
Oh, also something else that we see in the trailer, like. Sorry, can we transition to the Galaxy Toys bit?
Yeah, go right ahead. I didn't have too much there, so...
Yeah, Drill Punch was cool. I love that you could go underground. That's really sweet. But sort of switching gears, because I'm sort of watching the trailer in the background as we're talking, and something that I just noticed, I don't think I've ever seen this before, near the very tail end, like right before young Xehanort comes in, Sora is using one of the mechs to shoot at the enemies, and he actually hits like a tower of toys behind the enemies.
Yes!
And it just crumbles and falls. So we're finally getting world destruction in the game.
Yes!
And I'm like, oh my god, yes! So I'm so excited about that too. It's so hyper realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how they're like... kind of with earlier with the cracks in the sidewalk and not, even though those go away and that's really fast and really weird. It's cool to see the environment is becoming a part of the game, and in some of the earlier trailers how and I guess a little bit in 0.2 how magic affected the environment, like it burned the grass and it froze the grass and whatnot, and environment destruction I've been wanting for a very long time, ever since I saw it in what game was it? Zone of the Enders. They had a lot of that, and I'm like, this would be cool in Kingdom Hearts.
And I think that sort of explains the whole hole being sealed in Twilight Town. I think we'll just be able to break it right down.
Oh, completely. Although it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to me, like little bit of a headcanon. So I always thought that when Diz and Naminé traveled there from Castle Oblivion to move Sora, they were the ones to make a hole. Like, I can't remember how to get to the mansion. It's sort of this way. Diz just makes a big hole in the wall. I'd be like, let's go this way, take a shortcut.
Yeah.
And Naminé's like, whatever, okay. And then I see, like, the Twilight Town residents building it back up again after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. And then, like, we'll be able to do it again in Kingdom Hearts 3 where, like, Sora just bursts through and the Twilight Town residents are like, let me even try. Like, not again. Like, this is a reoccurring problem. But it was weird to see that hole was sealed. Or, like, I know that Nomura's saying, at least with the Disney Worlds, they're going to be a lot more in-depth. And they'll be a lot more, open. So I'm kind of curious if they'll do that with Twilight Town. It's going to be kind of hard to imagine where they're put stuff. I don't know, maybe more stops in the train? Yeah. But, it'd be kind of cool to see Twilight Town bigger and deeper. Yeah, if they decide to do that. And uncut. Yes.
Same with, like, Destiny Island and all the other original KH worlds. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, if they decide to bring back, like, Hollow Bastion or Radiant Garden or Destiny Islands.
Yeah, going back to the Nomura interviews, he did say that this would have fewer Disney worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2, but that doesn't necessarily mean fewer worlds, period.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. I didn't actually hear
I think
that.
we're going to see... Yeah. So we're actually going to see, I think, a lot of KH original worlds.
Okay. I wonder how that's going to play off. That'd be interesting.
Fine. I mean, I wish there were just as many, if not more, Disney worlds. Yeah. Isn't that what we're sort of in Kingdom Hearts for? I mean, somewhat.
Yeah.
It would be nice. But I understand it's a lot of work. It's...
Oh, completely.
I mean, but, I don't know. I guess I'm just... I don't want to overhype myself now that I've heard that.
Yeah.
Because they have to be some really good worlds. Like, really good.
I mean...
There's going to be fewer.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Twilight Town is confirmed. Destiny Islands would be in a cutscene maybe, because... Although all we've seen of Destiny Islands is Sora picking up Master Keeper.
Right. It would not surprise me if we actually went to the Realm of Darkness that Aqua is in to rescue her. Mm-hmm. If we had to traverse pretty much the world of 0.2.
Mm-hmm. That could be interesting. But all in the future, and it's we look very... Words aren't coming out well. We look forward to it very much. There we go. That's what I want to say. Yay! Words. But, yes. So, going back to Galaxy Toys, though. Mechs. And apparently different mechs. I didn't actually notice this on the first run-through of it. But Sora gets out of one, and then goes to the next one. Like, different things, like different mechs and different robots will have different abilities, and will do like there's probably going to be one that shoots one big thing and another one that shoots smaller cannons that do like less damage but it does more or something.
It looks like they have pretty much the same moves, but they do have like the one special weapon that makes them unique.
Yeah, I didn't really take a look at the command menu too much. But I did notice it changed when you were in a mech versus outside a mech. Oh, and it looks like a lot of the commands stay the same.
The top one is
different. It goes from like cannon to, was that explosion or Excalibur or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
X something. But so yeah, the special one will Exploder. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of cool to see. I just thought it was. Now I didn't play Ratchet and Clank too much, but it just gave me a little like reminder of, oh yeah, they had like this gun that did this and this gun that did that, and it just kind of reminded me of that. So I don't know how it compares with that actually, but just gave me a little reminiscent of Ratchet and Clank in that sense.
Yeah.
And then what else is there in Galaxy Toys that I didn't notice? See Sora's battling the giant mech. Oh yeah, the enemies have a different logo.
I don't know what to think here because I don't see it whatsoever. I mean, not all Heartless have the Heartless emblem on them.
No, that's fair. Although they did like explain that though, with like emblem and purebloods.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a picture of this? I haven't spotted that.
I will screenshot it. It is on the Blue Robot thing.
I think it's just a helmet. Like I don't think it's the Heartless symbol.
It doesn't look like the Heartless symbol. That's why I'm like.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, each mech has a different design on the helmet, so I don't think it's because it's the enemy. It's just the design of the robot.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it on the other mech.
Yeah, there's on the red one, the or the blue one that he goes in. The first one. It's
okay.
Very
Yeah,
different.
I saw the blue one. I didn't see it on the red one. So okay, that might just be a. Oh, it does.
It does
look looking at them. They look the same.
I mean, it does kind of have the aesthetic of the various emblems. Could it?
Could be just this is a robot being controlled, like the eyes turning on or whatever. Like that could just be a thing, and we're looking too deep into it. But we're Kingdom Hearts fans. Can you blame us?
Yeah.
We gotta look deep into everything. So, what is that in the background? It looks like a baby carriage. Now it goes away. I don't know what that is. Anyway,
shopping cart.
Also, maybe? Yeah, a shopping cart or something. Oh, I think that's what it is actually. Yep, that's a shopping cart. It was a weird angle. Another thing I noticed with these, even though this is this is the English trailer. Never mind. Duh. But still going on from that, we had the backgrounds are a lot more busy than they were in previous games. We can read some of the text. Like there was, there's a Galaxy Toys logo on the floor. There's like a sign that says Gigas. In Andy's room, there was this big poster board full of like little notes and little flyers and whatnot and coupons.
Yep.
And you could like read them. And they're having a lot more. They're designing the backgrounds and taking their time with it, and it looks amazing.
All right, do you guys think we're fighting Zurg?
I hope so, and I hope he brings his tennis ball gun.
Oh my God, yes.
I was kind of. Yeah, go ahead.
I do hope that they mention the whole Buzz Lightyear being his son thing.
Oh, absolutely. Dad!
Dad, no, not again.
And then Sora's like, half the people I kill are other people's parents. I do not care.
Oh, goodness, yes.
I mean, it is part of the canon. I don't think we see Zurg in 3, do we? Because it's Lotso, right?
Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
We do?
During the credits, you know how they have like little after credit scenes and whatnot. So sometimes they're bloopers. There is a bunch of new toys coming into Sunnyside, and one of them is Zurg. He's like right up front and everything. So he did not die at the end of 2. He is in 3.
Maybe he's broken and they put him back together.
Yeah, maybe. Or like, there's multiple Buzz Lightyears. It could be a different Zurg.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
so maybe we kill the actual Zurg. Oh, that'd be so funny.
Yes. But kind of looking at the different villains from the different movies. Obviously, we're not going to see Lotso. or the big baby thing, because they're in the third movie and they're afterwards. But we are on Galaxy Toys, so I do think we will fight Zurg, because it takes place in Galaxy Toys. But I was kind of going through the villains and kind of going through which ones would be fun to fight, which ones wouldn't be. Because like going from the first movie, we have the Sid, the little shit, as I like to call him, as I call most kids actually.
I don't believe that man has ever been to medical school.
Yes. Good one-liners. Thank you. But yeah, I hope Sid might be an interesting boss fight. Like I said, I think they'll do Zurg because Galaxy Toys. Yeah. The other one I could and maybe they'll have like. Actually, I don't think the spider baby thing was actually an antagonist. I think it was just scary looking, and it was like, help me.
Oh yeah, all those toys. They help Woody escape.
Yeah, that's right.
Escape.
Okay.
So they're good guys, but they started off scary and untrustworthy, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe we fight them, get them to join our side, and then I don't know.
Yeah. And then the antagonist from the second movie, well, at least the other antagonist was Pete, the minor guy. I can't remember his name. Right. Stinky Pete. Yeah. He was a villain, and I feel like Zurg would be a much more fun boss fight than Pete would. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know how the mechanics would go. And
Al from Al's Toy Barn.
And yeah, Al from Al's Toy Barn. There you go. Or maybe those guys play. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was Bug's Life. That's thinking of the guy playing checkers by himself. The animated short.
Yeah, isn't
or chess or something.
Isn't he in several of the movies as an animated short?
I feel like he made a cameo at least in another one or something. I can't remember.
He was
what the animated short was.
He was the repairman in Toy Story 2.
Oh, that's right. He was the cleaner guy. Yeah, that's right. So, like I said, very meta. Cleaner guy that plays checkers with himself.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Zurg would be the best candidate for a boss fight in Toy Story. Mm-hmm. Unless you guys can think of a possible different one.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's the only one I could think of.
Yeah. Another thing that we didn't really get to see because it's still in pre-development phase and we don't have English voice actors, but I really hope we get Buzz and Woody's original English voice actors. Give me Tim Allen.
My God.
Goodness gracious. Because
that would be incredible.
I can't imagine them as different, like, with different voices. It would be so weird.
It would.
Like, yeah, I just can't imagine it. And hearing them in Japanese was weird. Was completely off-putting.
Yep, because they sound like Buzz especially sounded like all deep and serious.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, he kind of sounds like that, but not really. He was in the first movie more, but the shorts for Toy Story was for Toy Story 2 was the lamps. So maybe we'll get a lamp boss that kicks the ball at you, since we know the ball's making cameo. But yes, voices. Happy, please. Who do you guys see if there's any? I don't think there's anything else to look for in the trailer.
No, just young Xehanort coming in and messing everything up.
Like he always does. He looks a little weird, and I don't know why.
It's the eyes.
Yeah.
Too much white.
It looks like they were like stickered on, which made me think he was a toy, like he was toy form, which was really funny to me.
No.
But maybe not. Oh yeah, he does also look life size.
Yeah, his eyes look sort of dead. Like the shot of just his mouth is fine.
Yeah. It's as soon as you zoom
the
out
eyes
to all
show
of
up,
them.
it's like yeah. But I think that scene in particular, you notice like the mouth isn't moving as nice as it could be. It's not as detailed as the other cutscenes we've seen. So I think this is our version of like flat face.
The default fish face thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Like from the other Kingdom Hearts games, like where the cutscene was, I guess, not as important or not.
Right. It wasn't pre-rendered or not.
Yeah. So I think it was just flat face, lips sort of moving like a cartoon. I think this is sort of our version of that, or it's just not done yet.
Yeah. I hope it's the latter, because I do not want flat faces anymore. I mean, it looks a lot...
I don't think we're good at it.
It looks a lot better than the Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2 days, like, default face. But, that is one thing I was hoping that they got rid of those when they announced the PS3 and PS4 remakes, and they didn't. So, I'm a little salty. But that's just me. Well. I have a lot of salt for this series. I'm old. Darn it. Anyway, but a lot of things to look forward to in Kingdom Hearts 3, and a lot of good things that came out of this trailer. It was a 5.5 minute trailer. Holy goodness! Like
crazy.
Ugh. Yes, this is what I was looking forward to. Thank goodness. I was betting on like a 3.5 minute to 4 at most, and we got such a long trailer.
5.5 minutes of Kingdom Hearts.
I just it makes me even more anxious for February. When apparently their next
D23 Japan.
Yeah, when their next announcement is. So I guess they're not having something at Jump Festa, possibly. Or is that not this year?
I don't think it's our next one. I just think there's going to be more at D23 Japan.
Okay, probably. So, but something I look forward to February, and it's only July. All right, so it's gonna be another one of those deserts. But I'm not complaining whatsoever. We got a lot. I'm very okay. I'm satisfied. Good work, Nomura. Stop picking on Nomura. It hurts.
Yes.
The poor guy.
I'm probably gonna keep doing that, actually.
Yeah, that's what you do, though. But anything anybody else wants to add that they noticed about, or just want to bring up about Kingdom Hearts 3 in general?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of mechanics I'm concerned about, and until I get the game in my hands, I mean, there's really not much I can complain about visually, or we haven't seen much story, but I mean, I didn't expect to. But what I can see is totally fine. But what I want to make sure it feels right.
Yes.
Like
I was gonna say
any issues I may have, I won't know about until I have the game in my hands.
Yep.
So, I mean, for right now, I have no concerns. I don't think there's going to be a delay. And if there is, we won't know about it. I think fundamentally the game looks incredible. I'm going to love it. I can't even say I might like it. I'm going to love this game. It's everything we've all been waiting for. I made a tweet the other day saying I'm going to take off work if this releases during the work year for me. I am going to be taking off work specifically to play this game.
Oh, completely.
So I'm going to love it. I'm going to spend every waking minute with it from the second it comes out to the second I beat it. It's going to be huge. They know it. They know the stakes involved here with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They are so aware of what this means for Disney and Square. They're so aware of it. I fully trust them. They haven't really let me down yet. I mean, I'm treating this like a 1 and 2. 1 and 2 did not let me down. I'm fully on board. I have no concerns, no questions, no problems until I get the game in my hand. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. We all know how Kryten feels about Kingdom Hearts 2, though. So.
Yeah. I think
not a fan.
I may be the only one in the fandom who hates it, but I hate it.
That's a big tangent that we'll go that we'll talk about off the podcast because it has been brought up on the podcast before. Okay. And
I thought I was the one with the unpopular opinion. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is better than 2.
Absolutely.
I don't think 2 is bad.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting.
But I definitely think there's I feel like there's a lot of pressure on both Square, Disney, I get Square Disney, Nomura, and of course Mr. Nomura. There's a lot of high expectations. There's a lot of hype. So I don't necessarily worry that the game won't be good. I worry that I worry for those people at Disney and Square Enix that I completely trust that they'll deliver, and it'll completely satisfy me. But there's always that one person. There's always that group of people who say it's not good enough. It's not worth that 10-year wait. And guess what? You haven't been waiting 10 years. Get over it. So I worry for them more than I do the fans. But
True.
I definitely look forward to it. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And I will do everything in my power to take maybe that week off. I don't know. Just
it should be a national holiday.
It should be, like, really. Seriously, though. And because we all contribute to, like, fan sites and such, we should be, like, we should get those days off. Goodness.
Yeah, seriously.
But, yep. Good things coming. Good things to look forward to. And so we wait for February. And possibly December and whatever other stuff in between. And maybe we'll get more interviews. Who knows? Which I'm all on board for.
Absolutely.
But anything else you want to add, Kryten?
No, I think you guys pretty much covered it all.
Nice. All right. So, with that, I think this will conclude the 8th episode of the Round Room. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention. I completely forgot. If they decide to do a simultaneous release...
Oh, God, yeah.
I hope so.
They need to. Like, honestly, they need to. Final Fantasy 15 can do it, so can Kingdom Hearts 3.
Very much so. Yes. I don't understand why 2.8 didn't, but I'm less salty about that than I will be if Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't get a simultaneous release.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping for that. And December 22nd, 2018 will be 13 years from the date that Kingdom Hearts 2 was released. So, just throwing that out there. I hope it's sooner than that. I'm okay with it is that day or a little bit after. But I'm just saying, that's a thing that's happening. It's the 13th year is this year. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I guess let's actually close out with that. What month? What month is it coming out?
All right. So
do you say December? Is that your guess, or is it what?
July.
So looking back at past projects, or at past Kingdom Hearts releases, they've always released
March
not always,
September.
But about September, October-ish. Yes. So I'm gonna go with September. But I'm also kind of looking at, we still have at least from what I know, quite a few worlds to announce about. And if the next thing is in February that we're going to be talking about, then I won't be surprised if it's later. If it is going to end up being like November, December-ish. But I'm going with the bet that it'll be September, because past Kingdom Hearts games will have been in September. So that's my month.
September.
Yeah,
I would think it's in the fall as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because you said September, which was my guess, I'm going to go with November, because that's the same month that Final Fantasy 15 released.
Ah, good choice. Kryten?
So if they trust Final Fantasy 15 to release in November, I think they can trust Kingdom Hearts 3 to do well in November as well.
Mm-hmm. Especially if it does end up being a simultaneous release.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Kryten, what do you think?
For completely stupid reasons, I think it's going to be July.
What do you have stupid
What
reasons?
is that stupid reason?
Please
it's share.
13 years after Kingdom Hearts 2 in the 7th month. Just completely...
Oh!
Like, it would probably be terrible business sense, and Square Enix management would slap them in the face if they asked to do it, but that's my guess.
No, that's That's good.
Very stupid, silly guess.
I honestly love that. I hope it comes out in July.
I hope so now too.
Not only because of that, but because I won't be working because I'm a teacher, so I would be off work, so I could play it literally nonstop for months, with no work.
With no worry about getting work off.
Yep.
Okay, now I want to say July now, but
I'm
sticking. I'm gonna stick with September. I think it's legit gonna come out in September. So
yeah, if it's in the fall, it's gonna be in the winter, like December.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that he says they're gonna announce pretty much everything before it comes out, a lot of time has to go by.
We'll still have to burn through Jump Festa, Japan D23, E3 again. And I'm sure a lot of other minor events.
I'm really thinking that E3 next year is the first time we see the demo.
Yeah.
Of 3. So I'm really hoping I get to go to that again next year and literally spend all E3 playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
I wish I wish I had the money to go do that. So enjoy it for us, please.
Thank you.
Please.
I will. There will be tons of footage, tons of pictures.
I will retweet them all.
Yes.
And with that, thank you both for taking time out of your weekday hours to join me in the round room.
Absolutely.
So, and thank you all for all 10 of you who decide to listen to this hour and a half podcast. So with that, I've been Chainoffire. Thank you. And with me has been Kryten.
Hello. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us, Kryten, once again. Our first returning guest. No, not our first returning guest, actually. Thank you for returning.
Okay.
And a very special thank you for our first off-wiki guest, to Toominator, for joining us.
Absolutely, it was a fun time. Thank you guys for having me. You guys can find me if you want to, since I'm not part of the wiki. You can find me on Twitter at Toominator KH13 because I'm with KH13.com. Yes. That's where you'll find most of my Kingdom Hearts stuff. So if you want to follow me on the interwebs, Twitter is where I mostly hang out. I'm also on Tumblr. I have a Kingdom Hearts blog that has a bad word in it, so I don't know if I'm actually able
to has the
bad
word.
All right. Yes, it is. KingdomHeartsSeries.tumblr.com.
Yes. Links will be in the description or on screen, whatever KSM feels like doing. Thank you, KSM. Special thanks to KSM, who is not with us. Keyblade Spymaster, our editor. But yes, links will be to Toominator's various social medias, his Discord, his Twitter, and whatnot. So feel free to check him out. He's a pretty cool guy.
We think he's alright.
He's alright.
Whatever. Yeah, alright.
And then links to follow both the Keyhole and the Kingdom Hearts Wiki stuff will be in the description as well if you want to hear more about the other two. But thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining us. And this has been Chains signing off.